I'm going to get right to it. I don't have much time, so let's get right into this document, Emergency Reconstruction Goal of 1920 by the Women's Organization. Let's go.
MT asterisk I a host of women, WBMI great purpose is theirs to send their master asterisk, Jesus Christ their best friend, their savior, to hope bless women the whole world around. How do they do it? They send their daughters from their homes in this beloved land to live among the ignorant women who are around.
Maybe I should see who come in first, right? Because it seemed like you need to hear this first part, which is very pertinent as well. Peace, C. Robs. You done came in, brother. As long as me and you here, I guess we'll get started. I'm not alone. I want to get into this. This is very, very, very important. Keeping in mind, guys, there's a lot more into some of the other things that we talk about continuously. So let me go back to the beginning of the book, Emergency Reconstruction Goal, as I'm having it read through the auto. But yeah, I ain't gonna tire my tongue out today. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that, but y'all gonna see this. Let's go. All right. All right. I hope you guys can hear good. I hope everything is good. See Roberts, peace. Some of the StreamYard thing. Okay. Let's go. It seems to be working good. Let's go, guys. It's on us to go. Because I don't know what nobody else doing, but we're finna get started.
How do they do it? MT asterisk
That sounds a little robotic because she's reading narrations at the top, guys. So ignore that. It's going to get into the regular reading in just a second. Just the next paragraph. So hold on.
Q2 carat 3 in 4 I and carat and the TTMT moves I 4 buff FHT smuna CFP 3 ru asterisk MFL 2 I.
All right, here we go.
SMFR and NM 1920. A great organization is that the Congregational women of these 17 interior states, banded together in branches, associations, auxiliaries, MT asterisk I a host of women, WBMI great purpose is theirs to send their master asterisk, Jesus Christ their best friend, their savior, to hope bless women the whole world.
Listen again. To send their master friend, Jesus Christ. I hope y'all be paying attention to everything I be dropping. Every time I make these videos, I see certain ones get a lot of views. Well, what I call a lot of views, because like they literally be scratching my videos or whatever. But what I call a lot is like maybe 500-600. If I get 600-700 video views on a video, then I know that people are getting the information. But when I know I'm getting like 200-300 views on a video, and there's like so much information in there, some deep information, it'd be crazy. But yeah, check it out.
MT asterisk I a host of
back.
women.
I gotta take it back. Peace, Noble. I am Shiva.
3 in 4 I and carat and TTMT moves I 4 buff FHT smuna CFP 3 ru asterisk MFL 2 Anuim carat SMFR and NM Ulranot Nerton Goal 1920. A great organization is that the Congregational women of these 17 interior states, banded together in branches, associations, auxiliaries, MT asterisk I a host of women, WBMI great purpose is theirs to send their master asterisk, Jesus Christ their best friend, their savior, to hope bless women the whole world around. How do they do it? They send their daughters from their homes in this beloved land to live among the ignorant women who are black, the purdah women who are brown, the bound women who are yellow, the harem done to death women of Turkey. Daughters, what do they do? These daughters. They take the dirty, ragged, sick women, girls and children and make them well again. They take the women and the children, ignorant beyond our thought, and lo. They read and write and think from kindergarten on through high school and then college. They take the women and the children and on the Sabbath day in church they show them God. They take the women and show them how to make a home where love and peace and joy made well. Hospitals, schools, churches, and countries which were dark begin to see a light that is clear.
They said what? What do we read to verify this as well? Hospital, a school, in the church. A hospital, a school, in the church. Forming a colony, forming a missionary for them to be able to propagate all of the propaganda. Pay close attention.
Hospitals, schools, churches, and
Salute
countries which were
T-Sky.
dark
Hi
begin to
sis.
see a light
Peace,
that is
babe.
clear. They send their daughters forth to carry out the last command of Christ. They cannot go, and so they send. It costs $126,000 every year. It cost that amount before the war, but now it is barely half enough. What can be done? Another fund. It is the only hope. A reconstruction goal $75,000.
When it's doing that, guys, it's reading some narrative at the top that's very small. So I guess the computer's having a problem picking it up. So just ignore that, and it'll get right into the regular reading after that part.
Churches, schools,
I
weather
hate to
conditions.
fast forward. Okay, I got you.
Carrot.3 of carrot IN equals dot RI Damon's hilary of FHT slons of TLJ. SNTR on to the J for it was June 1919. The Central Turkey mission came together for their annual meeting, the first one in 5 long, weary, persecuting, devastating years of war. Churches, schools, what a condition they were in. Turkish soldiers had done their worst to ruin the buildings. Ministers were killed, people scattered, girls in harems. Far worse than death for these lovely girls, enduring in a stolid way what came. Ambition gone, filthy, loveless, no hope. One wave of terror followed by a fear far worse. Their loved friends and leaders, the missionaries, reduced in numbers. 2 had died, others gone on compulsory furlough, some too exhausted to make the journey. No new recruits had come. Only 10 missionaries present at that annual meeting June 1919, when in normal times before the war 40 or 50 would have assembled. Only 10 people. What could they do? How could they plan? Churches must be reorganized, ministers must be found, schools must be opened. For boarding schools, finances must be adjusted. Money was only 1/5 its former before the war value. Adjustments must be made with the relief work. The morale of the people, how could it be once more restored? The great industrial work, what plans for that? The Muslim people asking the Armenians for such a work. How could it all be done? What could they do? Those 10 people. They asked for $1,056 to repair, put in new floors, glass, windows, plaster walls, and equip dishes, beds, tables, desks, books, every thing. 6 village schools, $176 for each school. $792 to pay the salaries of 6 Bible women, $132 a year for each. $1,267.20 salary for each missionary. What would the full reconstruction goal of $75,000 do?
Y'all know I want to talk about this so bad, but I'm doing something where I'm letting you guys listen to this, right? So I've actually stepped away from the computer for a second. I hope the sound is great right now because I want y'all to hear this because y'all know I'm going to talk about this and just right. But let's continue on, guys. Peace and bliss to everybody that's coming in. I hope you guys are hearing everything just fine. Let's go.
Thing. 6 village schools, $176 for each school. $792 to pay the salaries of 6 Bible women, $132 a year for each. $1,267.20 salary for each missionary. What would the full reconstruction goal of $75,000 do? Turkey's share for this one need would be not $1,056 for the schools, but only $528, not $792 for the Bible women, but only $396, not $1,267.20 for missionaries' salary, but only $847. $75,000, and that too small. But with this share, these schools and Bible women and missionaries would gather orphan children by the thousands from their most unbelievable surroundings, where they are dazed and sad and hurt in body, mind, and spirit, and give them a chance to grow well and strong again, where there are flowers and trees, kindergartens, industrial schools, and loving hearts, which say, "This is your home, I'll be your mother now." Missionaries who have lived there 40 years say they have never known a year that can equal this past one in misery, resulting from RMAI drought, famine, influenza which carried off millions, the war which took its toll of tens of thousands, the India section resultant high prices which have left the masses with one meal a day this year, where they had perhaps Homanis Sardi NF Fusatnia if JJNT crime carrot last year, the rate of exchange was 3 rupees to a dollar. This year a dollar brings but 2 rupees. Our daughters face the necessity of increasing salaries of Christian workers with no source of revenue for that increase. The people cannot exist on what they did before. They ask, instead of an increase in their own salaries, money to increase the salaries of their workers. Otherwise, trained Christian workers must go into government employ where they can get living wages. In order to help, one of our very own daughters has dropped her insurance. Vast air.
Trained Christian workers, the government agents. Check it out. Listen.
In order to help, one of our very own daughters has dropped her insurance. Vast areas are left to the supervision of 2 women. Villages are asking for schools. Thousands asking for baptism, but there are not preachers or teachers to give them. Boarding schools are crowded beyond twice their capacity. Weary doctors await relief before they can take their furlough, long overdue. Schools that have long since ceased to be adequate demand expansion. A few dollars a month would keep a Bible woman for missionaries who cannot multiply themselves, so they can touch the reaching hands. $75,000, the full Reconstruction goal. That India may have her part. The eyes of all the world today are fixed on that island empire which by leaps and bounds has forged ahead in the last 60 years. Prospering in a material way which has surprised all. One eye Japan. Her educational training is of the very best. Her military power great, her ships in all waters, her ambitions limited. But her atrocities in Korea, her grabbing of Shantung have been the disappointment of her friends. Her testing time has come. It looks as if she had failed in that which was highest and best. We who have sent our daughters there look in our own hearts and ask the question, do we really care? Have we in years past spent every energy in our power to make Japan a Christian nation? Have we desired above all else to give her a better life? Will we pay the price for schools and pastors, teachers, and churches? The salaries of the missionaries are the same as 20 years ago, although the
Listen, the colonization in America spread everywhere. Pay attention. Japan.
All else to give her a better life. Will we pay the price for schools and pastors, teachers, and churches? The salaries of the missionaries are the same as 20 years ago, although the price of living is 4 times as great as in normal times. Some fear they must resign because they cannot live on what they have. One Christian Japanese teacher wrote, "We are barely living in an uncomfortable house, simple, coarse food, old clothes, but we are thankful for these. We have had to take one of our children out of the kindergarten, as we cannot afford to keep her there. We do not know how we can educate our children." College, that great educational center, will influence on the womanhood of the nation, honored by the could because of lack of room, receive only 70 girls from Roth 240 who successfully passed the entrance examinations. Evangelistic SCHCC. Oh, how much it needs our daughter. FPVT 3 7 Wutana is Narvkavitasmia of TLJ 3 LNLR minus fur HPMNE. IMAMNNE 2 RJNE and 3 2 NE RCNNTN hiring Nibimim to live among those students, to give to them the high ideals and the training which will send them out to work with pastors and with young people. Not since 1916 has the money been anywhere near adequate to the demand, and various things have been dropped to make ends meet if possible. Service is 3 times what it was 2 years ago. Board almost double. Taxes increased 60%. The graduate conference can be held only once in 5 years, where it should be once in 2 years. The Christians of Japan, our daughters, and the Japanese are on their knees today, this very hour, praying Almighty God to stir our hearts and send aid now. If all the Reconstruction goal of $75,000 is reached in full, a part will reach Japan. She waits for us. That great nation of the East, of whom Napoleon said, "When China wakes, she will move," the world is waking now. She threw off her curse of opium, is unbinding the feet of her women, struggles to educate her vast popu. China one Lashan, sends her most promising students abroad, changes her form of government, boycotts the fathers, and rouses her young to patriotism. And still many a one today declares her only hope is to live out the golden rule of Christ. Today, the Union College for Women in Peking lacks only one thing: buildings and equipment to accommodate many times the number of girls they now have. Girls who would go to far Yunnan to carry education, ideals of home, no end of good, if only money could be found to help. In Shaohu, one of the teachers in the girls' school, she who never spared herself, who was worth 4 missionaries, died from overwork because no one I3 trained to help. 80% of the children die in infancy for lack of doctors and nurses. And every dollar gold we send only buys now but 75 cents silver. And China looks to us today, her friend, for help. The world looks dark but courage all. And the Lord does reign. We look from east to west and see its need, the black and yellow, brown and white, all children of the one who gave his life for courage. Our daughters will work hard and we will give $126,000, $75,000, and may its blessing reach to all who the world around. January 1920. Women's Board op Missions, op the Interior, Congregational, 19 South La Salle Street, room $131, Chicago number.
Where did it stop?
Homana Sardi NF Fusatnia F JJNT crime I
Uh-oh, sorry. We went to page 4. Okay. As you guys can see. This thing exposed so much about all this fake ass um, colonization through their Reconstruction. Now, even up to now, they've been doing this since the early 1600s, right? So even up until 1920, these documents show that they have been still doing the Reconstruction, still playing around. He said, "Sound like somebody gonna do a rain dance." Still playing around, all of that. You know how they do. Peace, and greetings to everybody that came in. I was actually away from my computer, but yes. So with this, let's kind of review this a little bit since I let it play while I was doing that. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Kind of saved me from having to read. I know that thing can be annoying when it was reading it. It was reading actually these asterisks, like right here, that's around the letters. It was trying to read the coding, but it's really crazy. Let's get to this part right here where it says, the great organization is that the congressional women of these 17 interior states banded together in branches, associations, auxiliary, and a host of women, which is what? A great purpose of theirs is to send their master Jesus Christ, their best friend and savior, to hopeless women in the whole world around. What y'all think about that part right there? Greetings, Sophia, George. Peace, peace, peace. What do y'all think about that? Okay. Let's read on a little bit more about some prominent areas I want you guys to make sure you take note of. It says they send their daughters from their homes in this beloved land. What is the beloved land? The home of milk and honey. Y'all already know they talking about us. In this beloved land to live among the ignorant women. Y'all think y'all ignorant women? Hell no. But that's what they said. The ignorant women who are black. They call them black. The purdah women who are brown. brown, the Indian women. The bond women who are yellow and a harem done to death, women of Turkey. They're talking about all the people that they had brought there that had been the immigrants, right? We're talking about like the Mongols, the natives, all these people that they were colonizing and their missionaries, so on and so forth. It says that they take the dirty, ragged, sick women, girls, and children and make them well again. This is why they said they have to have a hospital. We have to have a hospital because they have all these sick, ragged women. Mind you, this is a proposal, guys. This is a proposal for what? $75,000 fund that they can use for the reconstruction goal of supposedly fixing these things up. Here it goes again. Here goes their holy trinity of the convoluted construction of a colony. The trinity of a convoluted construction of a colony is what? The host is a hospital, a school, and the churches, right? The hospital, the school, and the churches is what they needed for a foundation to create this particular pilgrimage. Once they have construction or propagated for the pilgrimage, now they can solicit the funding to promote the Christian organization, the missionary work, right? To go through, to continue to train what they said, the women that are ignorant beyond our thought and low. They read and write and think from kindergarten on through high school and then college. This shit is a joke right now. Y'all hear this? Y'all hear the insults that these people propagate against us? This is why they ass gotta go. They take the women and the children, and on the Sabbath day in church, they show them God. They show them God on the Sabbath day in church. Well, God is there all the time, right? The Most High, the All Knowing, the All Seeing, the Infinite of everything, the Great Spirit of all everything, person, being, entity, anything that is, was, ever will be. First off, for them to give a name or a title to it, I don't know how anybody could do that, because how the hell could you know what the title is for something that is most powerful than any and everything, right? That same power that's everywhere generates through everything. Every piece of ether, copper, plasma like energy that is flowing, it's that same source, right? So, damn, that's you and me too. We got all that inside of us because why? We're all a part of that same thing, that same system, the constructed system that they try to tell you is outside of you. Why they tell you it's outside of you? Because if you look outside of you, you'll go outside of even where? The place that you lay your head, shit, you're going to be looking everywhere outside of you. Well, this ain't your land, shit, your land over here, your land somewhere else. Everything belongs to something and someone else other than you. Well, shit, if they can get to the minds of the people and let the minds of the people not even know who the hell they is, if they don't know their power and their strength in their mind and knowing that they are a part of the Most High, everything that they tell them is outside of them, shit, they can make them think any damn thing, huh? They could trick your mind, brainwash you, tell you anything, make you believe that you come from another place, make you believe that buildings that's been constructed thousands of years, they constructed and they knew it impossible. Like really mind bending shit, mind altering thoughts, right? Check this out. They take the women and show them how to make a home where love and peace and joy may dwell. How the hell they gonna tell somebody about something that's inside of them? Isn't love, peace, and joy something that comes from within you? Aren't you the person that creates the love? Aren't you the person that creates your own peace and your own joy? How could that come from anything outside of you? They put it on everything. Because they said it cost them $126,000. $126,000 a year was the amount before the war, but now it's barely half of that. So after the war, they saved half of that money, huh? Now they could take half of that money, $75,000, and take that and build new parishes, new missions, new churches, new schools, creating a new colony, trying to propagate a whole new system. Didn't we just read about New York, how they propagated it, coming in there and setting up their Trinity, putting their Trinity there and getting exactly what they wanted to do to reconstruct the area and act like it was theirs, pretending like the shit been there for them and it was already there? Are these people nuts? Then look, they did the same thing in Turkey. Look at this. 1919 in Turkey. Check this out. They did the same thing in India. Check this out. They did the same thing in Japan. They did the same thing in China. And they had the nerve It told you that they brought this dark energy on us in the Commonwealth book. Remember, we read the Commonwealth book. It said we have brought Jesus to the land to bring darkness upon the land. Do y'all remember that? I hope you guys don't forget things when you guys are saying these different pieces of information that kind of conjoin with something to show you even more definitive the things that I try to show you. Let's see. Maybe I need to show y'all something. Let me pull something else out for y'all. Let's pull. Let me see. I hope I get the name right so I can pull this right up. I hate to waste time searching. Hold on a second. Let's check on the women. Daughters, not women. It's the daughters. Oh gosh, these people something else. They kill me with this nonsense. All the propagation and propaganda. Check this out. Y'all just read about these women, right? They told you. They told you what they came to do, right? Let's check this out. I said I was gonna make this real quick. We should be done out of here, but I'm gonna show y'all one or two more things real quick so we get out of here. What that say? The United Daughters of the Confederacy. Historical, educational, benevolent, and patriotic. Patriotic. How can you be a patriot on a land that don't damn belong to you? Ain't these people sick? Listen to this shit. Listen to this. Welcome to the United Daughters of the Confederacy general website. Our organization, the outgrowth of many local memorials, monuments, Confederate home associations, and auxiliaries, to local United Confederate veterans camps that formed after the war between the states. What did it just say? Listen to this. The Confederate home associations, right? And auxiliaries to local the United Confederate Veterans Camp that formed after the war between the states. Now, didn't we just read over here that they said it saved them $75,000, half of the money, right? After the war, they were able to save half of the money to be able to build more parishes, right? Y'all remember that just a moment ago. Wasn't that long ago? We just read that. Now, it's verifying here that what they have done, right, is memorialize all these things because now they were able to build these memorials that were old buildings. Some buildings they reconstructed using the bricks, tearing up our shit, which people don't understand when it comes to reconstruction, actually tearing down or breaking down buildings to reconstruct them to something, for their benefit, to act like they redid it. This is something they've done in a lot of places as well. I'm not going to get into that, but let's move on. In addition to these associations, we are the outgrowth of the two statewide organizations, the Daughters of the Confederacy in Missouri and the Ladies Auxiliary of the Confederate Soldiers Home in Tennessee. These two groups were in existence as early as 1890. Well, when was that? In 1890. Well, isn't that like 30 years right before they had the reorganization, because they had to get this ready, get this organized, have these wars in place, so on and so forth, so they can go back and forth and be able to create this women's auxiliary. Do y'all see that? Now check it out. Thus making the United Daughters of the Confederacy organization the oldest heritage organization in the country. The oldest heritage organization in the country. Well, shit, it ain't even y'all country. How can y'all have the oldest heritage and y'all don't even have a damn heritage here? We are the only ones that would have the heritage here. The only heritage you guys would have would be the reconstructed heritage that you reconstructed by your own admission. Right? How can you have a heritage that you built on somebody else's heritage? That shit sounds absurd. It sounds crazy. It sounds stupid as hell. It sounds freaking nuts. Come on, let's go. Let's listen to that good statement real quick. This is a statement from the President General, right? The United Daughters of the Confederacy appreciates the feelings of the monuments that were erected by our members in the decades past. To some, these memorial statues and markers are viewed as divisible and thus unworthy of being allowed to remain in public places. Shit, you don't damn say. You got the nerve put up in a marker, right? Say that it's a memorial of something that is a status of something that was for the historical foundation of something here in our America, when all it was of the breaking down and the tearing down of the original heritage. It's a mocking. All these freaking places are mocking us, making fun of us in the shit that they did to us. That's the way I see it. I don't know about nobody else, but let me keep reading. To others, they simply represent a memorial to our forefathers. The forefathers, oh my gosh, not the founding fathers of America. Should we go through that farce? Who fought bravely during 4 years of war. These memorial statues and markers have been a part of the Southern landscape for decades, and that shit need to fucking go. When I tell you they've been knocking statues down in certain places, so on and so forth, that's because they know the shit is not right. But we allow it. We keep allowing these people to have these memorial, historical, foundational type of things based off of what they feel is memorial, with them committing fraudulent crimes on our land and using it against us. How effing dare they? Like, come on, y'all. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. To others, they simply represent a memorial of their forefathers. We are grieved that certain hate groups have taken the Confederate flag and other symbols as their own. We are the descendants of the Confederate soldiers. Who the F said that? Some of y'all were, because y'all got some of those traitors to go running with y'all, ramping around like y'all was nuts, trying to take over and control some shit, you know? Soldiers and patriots. Yeah, patriots. How dare they say they're patriots? Our members are the ones who have spent 128 years honoring their memory, honoring the memory of those fallen, fraudulent ass criminals. Really? And you're continuing to uphold it in all these sanctuaries and historical attributes and statues and memorials and auxiliation boards and things to protect these foundations of lies and shit like that. 128 years honoring their memorial by various activities in the fields of education, history, and charity, promoting patriotism and good citizenship. Ain't that some shit? You have to promote good citizenship, right? Because in order to be a part of all of this, in order to be a part of the Reconstruction and changing things and assuming the role of the roles of the royals here on the land, you have to create a new patriotism. You have to create something else that would be considered the people of the land. So now you're a good citizen, a person that is not a person that is tied to this land. You're a citizen, you're an immigrant. Our members are the one who, like our statues, have stayed quietly in the background, never engaging in public controversy. Well, shit, y'all can't, because y'all be called out on them damn lies. Who would come forward so they can be called out on the shit they do? Come on, make it make sense. The United Daughters of the Confederacy totally denounce any individual or group that promotes racial divisions or white supremacy. And we call on these people to cease using Confederate symbols for their adherent and reprehensible purposes. Well, shit, I can go with that part because they don't even got the right to do that shit. These white supremacist groups holding the Confederate flag up, they illiterate, they ignorant and they stupid. They don't even know what the Confederacy was all about. For them to act like they played a part and they don't even know what happened. We are saying that some people find this word Americans. Some were patriots, some were Americans, and the majority of them were immigrants. We know the whole story, but we ain't gonna get into it. We as an organization not sit in judgment of them, nor do we oppose. I sit judgment of their ass, nor do we oppose the standards of the 19th century on America's 21st century. It is our sincere wish that our great nation and its citizens will continue to let its fellow Americans and descendants of the Confederate soldiers honor the memory of their ancestors indeed. And we urge all Americans to honor their ancestors' attributions to our country as well. This diversity is what makes our nation stronger. The diversity. Join us in denouncing hate groups and affirming their Confederate memorial statues and monuments as part of our shared American history that should remain in place. That I agree upon. They should not be in place. Let's say that part. They should be gone, kicked out, bamboozled, got rid of. Aboriginal America. Peace says peace, peace. Grey Wolf, Royal Bloodline, peace, peace, peace. Original Skywalker, peace. Royal Bloodline. So this is my first time listening to you live. Oh, really? Thanks for coming through, but I thought I've seen your name. Probably seen you in other chats. Yes. Welcome, welcome, brother. Peace and bliss. Thanks for coming through. I like your flow and delivery. I would definitely look to your lives moving forward. I appreciate that, brother. Peace and love. Peace and love. So yeah, you guys get it. So as we see these people, right, in the way that they like to play with us and play with your minds and make you think that they have something that they're protecting, our great American history, and so on and so forth. We know that these lies are propagated for a timeline of Reconstruction. We know that everything that these idiots do is to propagate a lie. So let's see. I wanted to bring up one more thing before I get out of here, since I went into a little further. Matt, I need to save this for another bill or not. Let me see. Okay, I will. I'll go into this on another bill, but I'm going to just show you guys a bit of this. Just a bit of this book. Just a small wee bit. Let's see. Another window, so I'll see if I'll be able to share it or not. Let's see. Yanita, peace, sis. Yanita, yeah. Peace and bliss, babe. Okay, let's see. It's gonna let me share the other window. Give y'all a little bit more before we get out of here. Yep, there it is. It's letting me share. Awesome. Alright, maybe I need to take that window and put it on here just in case I don't mess up. I'm gonna put it up here. Come on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, because I don't want it to mess up. Okay, so put it in there. Okay, there we go. Now we got it. Get rid of that. The Confederacy. Okay. This is okay. Look, I was going to read this, but let me see. This is page 76. Let me come back to this. I just want to show you guys what this book is real quick, and then when I get to the page, I want to read a little bit of, and then I'll get into this on another video. I'm going to do part 3 on that CIA. You being the guy that really goes to like busting down everything, all the powers that they were able to develop while doing this. Right brain, left brain, hemisphere meeting, the meeting of the minds. You hear this all the time. You know how they tell you about, the meeting of the minds. Shit, they talking about your left and right brain, the hemisphere coming together, so you're able to transcend. Man, that document gets so deep. I don't even want to talk about it right now because I said I didn't want to do all that reading today, and I'm still pulling up something to read, but now it's moving slow. So give me a second. Give it a second. Let me share. And then, I think it's going down. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Come on, I'm trying to get to the title. It's showing every page but the page I want to show y'all. It's California. I wish I could turn that page. I wish I could turn that page. I'm gonna show you. Can't turn it on here. I can do it on my photo, but California. Okay, let me see. I think this is the page. Okay, yep, here's the page. This is what we're gonna be getting into a little bit right here. This is Bethlehem. Now they always talking about Bethlehem, right in good old Pennsylvania. 1741 to 1892, some account of its founders and their early activity in America. This is from the Moravian Historical Society and formerly the archivist of at Bethlehem. Okay, so once you guys see this, I'm gonna go down to a page that I just want to read a little, see what we're reading from. This was published in 1903. This is all around the same time. Remember, this is all the same time. Copyright 1903 by the Congregation of the the United Brethren of the Borough of Bethlehem and its vicinity. By the Congregation of United Bethlehem, Brethren of the Borough of Bethlehem, the Borough of Bethlehem, its vicinity. Okay, so we're going to get into that. I'm going to go to page 76 to read something there. Real quick, hold on. Maybe I should read a little on 74 instead. I wanted you guys to hear. Okay, I'm gonna read the bottom of this page right here, right? It says, among the white settlers of Dutchess County, New York, was erected in 1859 of the remains of Bruce at Wyandotte Lake, which is Indian Pond. Wyandotte Lake, Indian Pond. It's a little bigger for you guys. Make sure y'all can see it. Can you guys hear me? Is the sound okay? Let me check. Sounds going good. Peace. Yes, the sound is good. Oh, okay, a couple people came in. Let me shout out my chat. Peace and bliss to everyone. My sis in pieces. Peace. Original Copper Empress. Yanis. Peace. Negas. Peace, brother. Haven't seen you in a while. Peace and bliss. You already know. Cato Morris. Peace and love, brother. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you guys as always. You already know. All right, let's get into this part real quick, right? Empress Freedom Feathers, peace, sis. Peace, beautiful. Great evening to you. Just loaded up so I could have had it read, but I'll just read it. I was trying not to do too much reading today. I'm still on issues. I haven't been able to get to my herbs. Lord, I got to get to this freaking storage. Oh, here we go. Let's see. John Henry Miller, I'm sorry, let me go back. Among the white settlers of Dutchess County, New York, it was erected in 1859 over the remains of Bruce at Wyandotte Lake in Indian Pond, County, Connecticut. John Henry was a well-known newspaper publisher of Philadelphia, who had been attracted by the work of the Brethren in Europe. Oh man, maybe I shouldn't do this until I do the information on. Then go to my tab, right? I literally posted information on William Penn and him talking about coming here doing this, all the same thing. Mind you guys, it's always the same thing. This is the history of Bethlehem, right? I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna wait. I do William Penn to go into detail, but I'm gonna read this part for you guys. Let me now I'm that slow. Okay. This is the history of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, 1741 to 1892. The accounts found of the early activity in America. Okay. All right. Now it says Miller was I read that. I'm sorry. Restless and fond of change, his life was one of the many wanderings prior to 17. Established his office in Philadelphia. Mind you, The William Penn information, that's why I'm not going to read too much of this, guys. The William Penn information is around the same time. It talks about William Penn giving an account of a whole bunch of things. Go to my community tab. There's 5 full pages of his letters going into details and information about him settling Pennsylvania. So when you go into that, you'll be able to get that information, and it'll coincide with some of this that we're going into as well. This is all around the same period, so on and so forth. Okay. Okay, the office in Basel, in many European cities, and between 1742 and 60, during his several sojourns in America, in the offices of Franklin, Bedford, Sauer, and other printers in Pennsylvania, besides putting into operation the first printing press. Now, keep in mind, the first printing press. Remember, they had to do the reconstruction of the books as well. They had to reconstruct the books to go along with the timeline of the reconstructed story. So we have William Penn, we have Shakespeare's information that they were using. That was not too, that was prior 100 and maybe like 100 years or so. Prior to that, they had a lot of information that they had as far as the timeline when they were using that Bible and trying to contort things and change the history, because they added the New Testament and forming that that 1611 Bible with King James to contort and change the royal bloodlines. So they had to orchestrate a new story. So now, as we're reading all information that we've been going over, they are doing an absolute timeline of how they were using everything to go back, back and forth, coming over here, setting things up, taking things back that way, reconstructing the damn, I lost my freaking thought. I thought I was gonna get it back, but keep talking, but I couldn't, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I was thinking 2 or 3 things at one time. But either way, y'all know what I'm talking about. The bloodlines, basically, they had to reconstruct the bloodlines. When they reconstructed the bloodlines in the Bible timeline, they had to start making things construct and fit along those timelines as well. This goes with a lot of the statues, the monuments, all this fake ass shit they got going on. We ain't gonna get into all that, but yeah, y'all get the picture. Let's keep it. I don't want to keep talking. News is propaganda. Patriotism that they put out to try to make you believe that it's something that goes along with their narrative, right? Y'all got it. Y'all. Because, yeah. Let's get down to it. Hold on. I'm going to go to page 76 real quick. I could read this. Let me read this real quick. 75. The sensation awakened by his coming, which had been eagerly awaited by so many persons of various stations, religions, and dispositions. In Philadelphia and the surrounding region was greater than its religious benefit were cherished in some quarters. There was excited preparation for controversy in others. More than one vegetarian in theological warfare and sectarian strife got his arsenal in readiness. And there was even a temporary truce between some habitual contending parties in order to join forces and combine their diversity of weapons against a new object of attack with the added zest of novelty. With the added zest of novelty, you get it? With the new object of attack, the added zest of novelty, creating novelties and added zest, which was another war, a war weapon against your mind. Propaganda, stories, lies, fiction, things that they could prop up, putting a story to line together, putting these things in places. A few days were passed in Philadelphia, forming acquaintances, consulting with men of different stations and connections, and interviewing. The Eskenbach and the young women, Anna Nichenbaum and Johanna Malter, in references to their tours through the country districts. On Monday evening, December the 18th, the Count went out to Germantown, where he lodged with John Betcham, and faithful licensed lay preacher and pastor on some of the spiritual awakening German reformed people of that place. When Vandendorf first appeared in Philadelphia, Bechtel, and had been almost deterred by the outcry of some from entering into the cordial relations with the Count. But as the leading member of the Skip Pack Association, he shared the hope of Henry Ants that a solution of the religious problem of Pennsylvania might be advanced by an alliance of devout men of all persuasions and practical efforts for the common good, and on the ground of some simple evangelical articles of agreement, which would leave converted points untouched and each party undisturbed in its view on such points. At Germantown, Zinderhoff also others at Little Association, besides several of the better sort of German separatists, whose manifest earnestness and straight of personality rendered them, with all of their eccentricities and their prejudices, men whom it would be desirable, if possible, to enlist in some kind of activity for the general welfare, were more profitable than their criticism and protest over against every existing thing. The company that was to join him on his first journey into the country assemblyman at Germantown on Tuesday morning, they set out for Skip Pack. They spent the night at the house of Christopher Weiner, and on Wednesday proceeded to Faulkner's Swamp, and visited Henry Ants. There, the most important interview had by Zinderloff prior to the close of the year took place. No man to be found was more competent than Antes to give information about the general condition of the Germans in Pennsylvania. Germantown is in Pennsylvania, if you guys aren't aware. We're talking about Germantown, keeping in mind that is in PA. And about the numerous sects and parties that entered into the motley religious compositions of the province, and no man was less likely to misinterpret any of them, for he was singularly free from prejudice and bigotry. He unfounded the plans he had been considering since his first discussion of the situation with Spangenberg in 1736. And his proposition was that he would issue a circular letter inviting various persuasions and send representatives to a general conference of religions as a first step. Listen, a conference of religion as the first step, the first war tactic, that mind. It was favorably regarded by Zinderhoff, who agreed to be present. Thursday morning, December 21st, they started on the final stage of their journey to the forks of the Delaware, taking the route to the mill of Nathaniel Irish, which had become a familiar road to some of the party. It was a long, hard ride for those who were not used to such exertions, and the evening dust in that shortest winter day had gathered when the cavalcade descended in the last north slope between the Millerstone Quarry and the Lehigh, and the cheering gleam from the cabin of the Yesselstein family near the river that greeted them in the distance. They dismounted there and made a brief call at the home of their friendly Highlanders. Then torches were provided. Several members of the family led the way to the Indian Ford. Several members of the family led the way to the Indian Ford, where the canoes were brought into requisition for some, while the horses were taken over by others, and, guided by the flickering lights thus improvised, they crossed the stream in the darkness as they followed the winding up the accent of the north side. Another light was glimmering through the trees, soon welcomed the pilgrims to the little log house on the Allen track, to them the most interesting and important spot in America. And they were at their journey's end in the unfinished community house, 2 rooms in the second story at Western Inn, and had been hurriedly prepared as well as could be for the use of the Count and perhaps for his daughter. And there he passed the first night at Forks. There's no record of what took place on the following 2 days. It may be assumed that manual labor was for the most part suspended, and that the time was devoted to social converse, spiritual edification, and official conference. For this first visit from Zinderhoff, then Dendorf, I believe it is, made to the new settlement, was a very short one, and undoubtedly Saturday was spent in a customary manner, with interesting heightened by his liturgical leadership, discourses, and narratives. The first extant record after the mention of his arrival began. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm getting tired already of reading. I'm just tired. That's what it is. My cognitive is off. Of his arrival brings the view of interesting Christmas Eve scene scene, they were assembled in the little log house at the close of Sunday, December the 24th, now north south, to observe the vigils of Christmas on the same day on which their brethren in the far fatherland had similarly engaged. So basically, this go. I want to. That's why I should have waited to read this. I can't read much more of this, guys, but I wanted to get into this. Uh, um, this is No, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna wait till we do William. We're not going William Penn. We're gonna stop this here because I'll have to keep reading at least 4 more pages, guys. I told you I want to make this a nice little short one. I want to get this in here, because sometimes I don't have the time to. The internet was pretty okay. I said, let me try. I'll be trying to make sure I can get some of this information out to you guys. All right, let's see. So I did drop the book, guys. I think my internet stopping. Hold on. Get ready to get up out of here. I think that it's acting real stupid right now. Y'all already know. I'm getting back. Acting real stupid. Yeah, hold on a second. God dang it. Peace, big dog. Silly. Thanks for coming through, brother. Peace and bliss. Hold on a second. Henry, oh, they're talking about, oh man, they're talking about Henry, King Henry. Henry, they're talking about King Henry. That's why I want to. I'm gonna wait till we get into the pen document, and then I'll bring this up and try to get into some of them when I do that because that kind of clarify some other stuff as well. Right. I love getting that information. I swear, there's something. Maybe I could do this document because it's real. It's not really short, but um. mm, dang. Oh man, I got a class, guys. Oh my gosh. I am like really late. I forgot about it. Okay, we're gonna end now. I am so sorry, guys. But yeah, let's get out of here. Guys, peace, bless. Um, peace and bless to everybody. I did drop it. Thanks, Shanita. I was just gonna say I might drop it if not. All right, great. Sis, I dropped it. All right, guys. Peace and bliss, guys. You guys got to document, read through them, verify some more things that we've talked about. We're going to be getting into. Make sure I need to make sure y'all check my community tab. Let me say this. Check my community tab daily. Sometimes I'll drop stuff. I have the chance to. I'll just come in there and I'll drop a lot of information. I dropped some stuff over the last couple of days, so make sure y'all go check out that community tab. I literally put the letter, one of the letters from William Penn. Is this? Am I saying the right name? William Penn, whatever the guy's name is. Yeah, I told y'all my cognitive is off because I'm a little tired. And that's how I forgot my class. This don't make no damn sense. But yeah, make sure you guys are doing that. And I will check with you guys soon. Peace, love, and bliss. Check that community tab daily, y'all. Yes, sis, please catch. I think, yeah, getting out of here right on time. The internet's starting to act. Here we go. See, I told y'all I can only do so much. I might even go over some of this when me and Empress do our next live because this is crazy. I can't even get no clarity. Make sure y'all are checking that community tab. Okay. All right, guys. Peace, love, and bliss. I'm out.